What's going on? Sasha Jordan Appley here, SJA. Today we're going to be talking about a film that I was cinematographer on for broadcaster TVO here in Canada. The film is called Shamed. Go check it out. Today we're going to be talking about the lighting and my job as cinematographer on this documentary. I love this shot. This shot right here, this wide shot, I believe we were using the 35mm on the Canon C70, two Canon C70s. In this shot, I love it. It feels like a bar. We got the pot lights in the background there, and we got some sunlight coming in over here, and we have what looks like pot light kind of shining down above him. That's the wide shot. Here's the close-up. Turned out really good. Really liked it. Very kind of not to say Netflixy feel, but just had a nice dark feel to it. Really felt like a bar that was closed up for the night. So here's the behind the scenes. So there you can see right here, this is our producer Cornelia. That's where our subject was sitting, and we have the pot lights going on in the background. There's some natural light poking in through there. We had a big piece of diffusion with I think a 300 watt LED kind of just giving some fill light. And then we have right here the softbox that I use, and you can see I put a little bit of cinefoil there to block it out so there wasn't so much light. Just want a little pocket of light coming down on our subject. There's another angle there, and there's the 300 by Felix kind of filling in the light. There's the spotlight giving that look, which is what you see back here, this big slash. So I was really happy with how this turned out. You know, these spotlight looks, I'm really inspired. Let me show you. You see this in my house? I love when light is doing this. Look, we have this cool light coming in, and then we have the hard sunlight coming in. It makes me feel, I don't know, it just feels cinematic. It makes me feel inspired, but it also can be very dramatic. It works on many different levels. Same thing here. Took a picture in my living room when the sun's coming in the morning. I just love that. I love the hard sunlight. This was a really interesting room. This was actually like a tile carpet center, and they had all these awesome animals on the wall, taxidermies. I think they even have a bear back there. But in this shot, we have our FBI agent, and you can see actually, this is another really cool point, is our subject here is looking directly into the lens. He's talking through what's called an eye direct. So he's looking right at the lens, and he can actually see our director, Matt Gallagher, in the lens. So this box that goes on front of the lens, it's an eye direct, so the subject can look right down into it. And then right here, there's a mirror. There's some mirrors, and the director sits right here, and the subject and the director can see each other. And it makes for a really impactful shot when you can see our subject looking directly into the camera. But I loved this lighting. I think we did a great job, this wide shot in particular. You can see I have my spotlights coming in, just adding some sunlight possibly coming in. But I really wanted to go for this overhead look, and I turned off all the overheads except for these three back here, because I wanted it to feel like there was some of that overhead right here, and it really turned out nicely, I thought. So here is Dave Draper, our sound guy, just sitting in for me. But let's take a look here. So there's the shot, which you kind of see, and here's the mess behind it. So we've draped off this. We have a 300 kind of creating this hard sunlight on the back of his head right here. Right here, this is from that 300. And we have our softbox right here, again, doing an overhead look. Anytime you want to do this overhead ceiling light look, I find the softbox works really well. And you can see we actually flagged off some of the overhead lights that we couldn't turn off. I didn't want to lose all of our ambient light from the house lights, so I flag off whenever possible and turn off as many overhead lights as I can, but try to leave some of them on so that we still have, you know, a natural room feel, which is what I think we pulled off here. I mean, probably could have used a little more light right over here coming down, but you know, I only have so much time to set these up, and I think I was just me and the director. I didn't even have an assistant for this, so I was doing it all on my own here. You can see we've blacked out the sun on the background. Black bed sheets are your number one friend on set, especially if you can't afford actual blackout sheets. Just go buy black bed sheets from Walmart. What I like about them is they're kind of see-through, so you don't lose all your light, but you can block out a lot of light. And if you want to really block it out, you just double up the bed sheets. So I love using bed sheets. I have like 20 of these. There we go. All the spotlights. I got 2 spotlights going there. 2 cameras with the eye direct. You can see the eye direct right there. It's funny how messy a set looks, and then you look at the shot, and you would never know that this was all. Look at that. They even got a bear on the ground there. but you would never know. This is what it looks like. All this mess turns into these beautiful shots. So that's part of the fun of cinematography. That's why I love it. I love creating these worlds. I love shaping the light. I love finding good angles. I love the challenges, seeing how you can make it look good. This is a really interesting shot right here. This is the prosecutor in Jasper County, and he was great. And I really loved this shot. If we just pause for a sec on this wide shot. Again, I have my hot spot, the sunlight, another hot spot here. I left this window open. Look, we still have some natural light coming in. I think it looks really realistic, and I actually broke my rule. I put our key light on our camera side. So normally I would have this part of our subject's face darker, and I would have the light coming in from this side, but I just thought it looked great, and I thought it looked natural, and so I didn't change it, even though it's technically incorrect. And that just goes to show you that you don't always have to follow the rules. Sometimes you can break the rules because who gives a shit? I mean, this is cinematography. This is trying to make things look real. This is documentary. I'm not trying to always follow the rule book here. Sometimes you can break the rules. It's just knowing how to break the rules. So let's take a look at the behind the scenes. This one was actually really complicated because you don't see it in the shot, but there was this, it was in this big courthouse, beautiful building, but it had these skylights. In the actual room, and there was tons of windows. So I blacked out this window. I left this one because I think it was an overcast day, so I was able to get away with leaving some of the windows open, knowing our interview was only like an hour or so the sun wasn't going to change that much. So I was able to leave these open, block these ones out, and I believe there's more windows off to the side that I blacked out. Let's take a look. Yeah, there's some back there I left open, but here we go. So I have my key light right here with my big diffusion, and you can see here I've put a big wall of blackout sheets here to stop the windows from the back of the room back here from bleeding in. And then this huge thing up here was a huge problem, and it was, if it was just letting so much light in. So what I had to do was this is where our subject was sitting, and right in this chair, and I put a black sheet over top to kind of put some negative fill over top of him so there wasn't so much of that light coming in. And this is I was really proud of this setup because I don't have any crew. It's just me, the director, and the sound guy, and we're doing all of this. I don't have lights that I can blast in through the windows. We only have so much control. I just have a ton of black bed sheets, and I'm making it work. It turned out great. So let's take another look here. So that's another angle. There's another angle. Look how messy it looks. We got a little bounce here for a little fill on the dark side of his face. You can see here's the actual shot. And if we go back to it, turned out amazing. I love those hard sunlight coming in. I love that look. And this light right here feels so natural. It feels like it's motivated from these windows back here. So super happy with that one. Let's move on. Let's see if we can do one more here, guys. Look at all these B-roll shots. I love that shot. Now, our director, Matt Gallagher, he loves a good tripod locked off shot. So we're always doing these kind of things in his films because they just look great. And I agree with him. I love this style that he likes. So I always try to lean into it when I'm filming with him. It's almost comedic, which is good for such a serious film. It kind of elevates it with a little bit of humor with some of the shots. So this next interview shots, you can see it's a little different than that last one. I actually have the camera on the correct side. It's shooting into his dark side, and then we have the light being motivated from this side. And I'm gonna guess that I have a window over here that I left open, so there's some natural light spilling. And then I have this hard sunlight coming in from my spotlight, which thanks Tim Craig, I keep borrowing that from you. And I love it. And let's see the close-up. I love this sun in the background. Like this is so beautiful, but also not just beautiful, but it also just looks real. So there's the behind the scenes. Big piece of diffusion. The bigger diffusion I can get, the better. Look at, I've blacked out over here for some negative fill. It's actually pretty simple. I have a spotlight, I have a 200 and a 200 watt LED light, blacked out some windows, left some open, big diffusion, spotlight. That's a two light setup right there. plus the sunshine coming in. And the way I was able to do this was to plan that if it was overcast, we could pull this shot off. If it wasn't, I would block out all the windows as much as possible. You know, sometimes in these situations, like, we knew what these rooms looked like before we got there, but we don't have ladders to get up there. You know, we're on the road, we're traveling with light gear. I actually think I was doing audio on this shoot. We didn't even have a sound guy, so I was doing audio and camera. It was just me and Matt. Take a little walk around here. You can see some natural light and some negative fill, 2 lights. Let's watch this. This is a scene from the diner with our reporter, and this is all natural light except for inside. I think I had a spotlight shooting up into the corner to give us a little more on her face. And actually, pause it here, we had aperture bulbs in both of these lamps, which those things come in handy whenever you need to control light. I love the cars whizzing by. This is great. So this is the interview shot. I didn't change anything, just have those aperture bulbs in, and we had very little time to set this up, and I think it turned out good. Let's see the behind the scenes. I only have one photo. So there you go. You can see I had a spotlight somewhere here blasting up into this corner to give us that extra little bit of light on her face, not just the top down light from the aperture bulbs. So fast little tutorial on how to use a spotlight. Okay, so this is not really a lighting thing, but well, it is a lighting thing. It's knowing when to film, and you know, I try to do all those big drone wide shots when the sun's coming down, and I got super lucky. Check out these shots. Look at this truck barreling down with all that dust, and then this shot. That shot right there was an accident. I just happened to be, let's rewind it. This shot right here, I just happened to be lifting off my drone. I just was setting it up, and this truck was just flying down, and I was like, oh my gosh. And I started rolling right as if I was taking off. You can see I'm literally taking off from the ground. I did not plan this. And this truck is blasting through with the sun in the background. It looks so great. That shot is just incredible. Good job, Sasha. Sometimes I'm too hard on myself and I don't give myself enough credit, so good job on that one. Let's watch a little more. Okay, here's another little fun little BTS. I was in this parking garage shooting this with our FBI guy, and I needed to brighten up his face, but the car light, you know, you can turn the car lights on inside the car. It wasn't bright enough, so there was actually a sunroof up here on this vehicle. So we opened up the sunroof and I put a little, I think a MC pocket light by Aperture just shining down on his head, and it really turned out really cool. I really like this shot a lot, actually. He's just kind of looking off into the distance here. Our FBI guy, Brian, he was awesome. Oh, this is a great shot. The garage opening up. The police coming out. I love this shot, kind of Fargo-y. This is why I love documentary. You don't have time to set up. So, and I'm not like, you know, a scripted cinematographer. I love skateboard videos. I love run and gun stuff. I love documentary because you have to work with what you got. And, you know, you have to get really creative. We don't have any lights here. We're just one camera, I think a 24-105 on the C70, and we're just going for it. Look at that. I even somehow managed to slip in some hard sunlight. And notice I'm keeping the sun to the back of him. I didn't shoot him. I didn't have him facing the other way, so his face was lit. This is more dynamic, I thought. Always keep that sun the back of your subjects as much as possible, if it makes sense. Get some cutaways, movement, surrounding area. This is what makes a good documentary scene, is you gotta place the subject for your audience. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I hope you guys go and check out Shamed. And, you know, it's not easy working on these kind of films, but it's a dark one, so strap in if you're gonna watch the film. But I'm very proud of how I filmed it. I'm just so grateful to have the chance to work in film and to do these kind of projects. So yeah, thanks for tuning in. Subscribe if you liked what you saw. Leave a comment. I'd love to hear what you guys think. Hit that like button, it helps me out. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.